I recently installed Lunar Client for, playing Minecraft. I realized that when I searched on YouTube for a simple guide to using Lunar for Skyblock, there weren't any simple tutorials. So I started educating myself, and now I can tell you guys about it. Well, let me explain. First, let's go through the main settings. So to open up since this is how I learned at first, maybe it's not the greatest way, but I press M, and then I go to mods. So so this shows up waypoints, and in fact currently there's a problem with waypoints. I'll get to that a little later. So the 1.7 visuals tab is a tab which transitions between 1.7 and 1.8, so you can choose which one is just like visuals, nothing important to like the gameplay itself, like however you want it, and just have it on the default, which is just 1.7. So then we have Fps, Cps, and Keystrokes. These are all in the top top left on my screen. So we have a ping right here, and it's also some like GUI things which I have. In fact, right now my FPS is actually pretty low, since for some reason it goes down whenever I open up this tab. Whenever I go out and I press F1, you see I was at 500 at one point. So back to these settings. So the CPS is how fast you click. You probably know this if you play like Bed Wars or something like that. FPS is the frames, so like the quality basically of currently your screen. You probably don't need anything higher than like 150 or 200, but sometimes, like especially with Lunar, which increases your CPS, it can go crazy numbers like 500 or even 1000. So I actually want to test out something. What is my current CPS? I'm gonna start clicking this. I can't do that high. Looks like 8, 9. Can I reach 10 now? My hands started getting tired pretty fast there. 8, 9 looks like that's my CPS, if you're curious. So then we have toggle sprint. I have it disabled, but for newer players I would really recommend having it enabled. The problem is, for me, I'm so used to pressing sprint all the time, so I'm constantly disabling it, and it gets kind of annoying in a way. So that's why I have it disabled, since I'm so used to pressing control, which is my button to sprint. Armor status, just shows what armor you currently have right here, even though this is just the kind of the default GUI, but like when I go off, you see the young dragon armor in the very bottom bottom right. I'm mixing my left and right today, I don't understand what's the problem. So yeah, next if we go down, crosshair just changes how your crosshair looks, not very necessary, like I don't have it. Coordinates, I only use it for one thing, and that's finding fairy souls, which is what I wanted to get to. Waypoints and fairy souls are kind of together, since when you have a waypoint, I'm pretty sure it should show fairy souls as well. It's something that you have on Badland and you shouldn't have on Lunar. The only problem is there's currently a glitch, and even though I tried fixing it, like I saw a thread which I could I saw a thread on the forums and I could link it in the description. The only problem is that for some reason it doesn't work even when I do the process of enabling these weapons. It still says you do not have any weapons set for this world. So potion effects just shows what potions you have right over here. I don't find it that useful for Skyblock. Maybe if you just drank a haste potion and you want to see for how long it lasts. Also, it's incredibly useful for like something else like Bed Wars, so that's why you might want to have this enabled. Direction HUD, honestly, I find this more annoying than useful. It just goes over here and then for some reason it's not working. But usually in the very top of the screen it just shows something, and I find it kind of annoying. So that's why I have it disabled. Scoreboard, I think it's this, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a scoreboard. Pink we already went through. This is this right here. Scrollable tooltips, and this could be pretty useful, I think, at times. Well, in reality, I just found out what scrollable tooltips meant. I actually didn't know when I first recorded that clip. Well, if you go into your inventory and you, for example, see something like this, you can scroll through the thing. You see it kind of moves around, and then if it's an incredibly big description, then you can scroll to see, like, for example, I find this incredibly useful when I tried to like star my weapon. I wanted to see if I were to star these. I know I wasn't really gonna, but if I were to star these, what stats would you give? Like, for example, essence crafting. So I put my sword in there, and then you see this is kind of incredibly useful to start scrolling through this, and you see all the information necessary if I were to add like a star to it. You see, so that's why I find this incredibly useful. Now that we are over here, motion blur, I do not have that enabled. And I honestly don't think this is very necessary for Skyblock. Particle multiplier, not necessary for Skyblock, but something else like bedwords, you might want to have it on. Or just on visuals, which you prefer having it on or not off. So yeah, multiplies the particles, that's all it does. Chat, I have that enabled because chat can be useful. UHC overlay, so currently we're not in UHC, of course we're in Skyblock, so I have never actually used this feature. Cooldowns are quite useful, honestly. I find cooldowns like incredibly useful. I didn't think they would be. So imagine I use my grappling hook, and then on the bottom it shows for until how much time I need to wait until I can use my grappling hook again. Now going back down, here we have a clock. I have it disabled. I don't know what this does. Oh, I see it. It shows the time over there. I mean, that's pretty useful actually. You know what? I'm actually having it enabled. If you're new to Lunar, you might not have seen this, but this is the button which you need to press to change the HUD layout. And yeah, this basically allows you to move around everything in your HUD. I don't mind having the time. You might want to know what time it is when I record my videos. You know what? This can go completely off side. Shiny pots can be. I mean, it's another visual. Skyblock add-ons, probably the most important feature of Lunar Client for Skyblock. So if you click on options, it basically shows you everything. So you know how in vanilla this is not this bar right here, this is just hearts. So yeah, you can enable, disable that, it's how you want. I personally have it enabled, and I think most people have it enabled, but it's okay. Now we have mana, health, mana text, health text, mana text. And then we have dark auction timer, which I find useful, especially when I have like a lot of money in the bank and I go over this and I can easily see what time a dark auction is. Next we have endstone protector, also pretty useful with when you're in the end, it shows this. Magma timer, it's something that shows when you can get the ember rod, which I find that useful. Ember rods are pretty cheap, so that's why I have that off. Then we have next thing, summoning eyes. So yeah, you can just go through all of this and choose what you need. Now, one setting which I would really recommend, and in fact like I would almost make it necessary, is have this off, change the color off, because for a long time there was, I mean not a long time, when I first installed Lunar, there was this glitch when you would have this on, the Zelda color would sometimes be invisible, and so it with default is almost invisible, so that's why it was pretty annoying. So then, and I didn't know how to change it, and there were no videos on YouTube about it. So yeah, if you found that glitch and then like even if it made you like not want to have Lunar, I understand. So, but all you had to do is change Zelda color off. Now, also, I just want to point something out. If you have a health bar on, you should also have a hide health bar on right here, because this is the vanilla health bar. So if I don't have this on, you see it can get pretty annoying. So yeah, the rest of these I never even touched them, so I don't really know much about them. So that's why you can just keep them on the default. Now let's leave Skyblock menus. Then we have combo counter, pretty useful probably for some kind of PvP scenarios. I don't have it on, but like if you want it. Reach display, I don't really know this. I think it's maybe how far away certain player is. Block outline is preference, like blocks look a bit like this with block outline. You see this like cyan almost, or light blue kind of shade around the block, when without it, I think I'm pretty sure it's just black. Server address, you might want to have that. Not honestly, I would never have a server address. Hey, imagine I'm playing with some kind of like private server, and you got the address to it, and yeah, that could become pretty chaotic. One setting which I for sure would disable is this. This can become so annoying. It's so in the bottom left, right. Oh my god, I don't think I got a single time, or left or right. So yeah, it shows this bar and it can become quite annoying. So yeah, that's my net graph. I have it off. FOV mod, this changes your FOV a little bit. It basically chooses how you have the FOV, then item physics. So yeah, one cool thing which Lunar Client had but doesn't have now is the ability to kind of move around. So before, I mean, you could click a button and it would bring you instantly in F5, and you could look around you, and so you could still be going straight, but you could be looking in that direction. That was cool until I'm pretty sure what happened was that some servers like Mindplex and maybe one other one disabled Lunar Client players, or like they had people who wanted to play could not have Lunar Client because of the problems it caused. So yeah, because of this feature, and now I'm pretty sure Lunar Client is re-enabled there. So yeah, I think that's it for this recording, and bye.